Hi everybody. So I've had some additional questions about the poster. So I want to take just a few minutes to walk you through this. I've created this template for you. And this is the template that you'll use for putting your poster together. Here is where your title will be. And your title should reflect or be related to your PICO question. It should not be your PICO question, but it should reflect your PICO question. And then you have the subheading, a literature review, and then your name. For objectives, I've already started this section for you. You've got your lead sentence here. The purpose of this literature review is to answer the question, and then you state what your research question is. For example, what is the effectiveness of occupational therapy for reducing falls in community-dwelling adults with early stages dementia? So the background here is where you want to make the argument for why is your topic important? Why is your topic important in terms of health and healthcare? How big is the problem? Or how costly is the problem? And why is this important to address? You're answering the so what question. Down in the methods section, you actually put your PICO terms here. Your P, your I, your C, which none of you have a comparison group, and this should be O, which I will change on the template, right? So you actually put in your P, your I, and your O. Then here, you list what databases you searched, PubMed, CINAHL, whatever you searched, the search terms that you used, and the limits that you used. Then you plunk your matrix in here. Then you're going to come over here and you have to create a chart or a graph in Excel. And what you need to do is you need to break down the types of studies that you had and count how many RCTs you had, how many quasi-experimental pre-post you had, how many single subject designs that you had. So you're going to have to actually go in and categorize your studies and then count how many you had in each category and chart it. And the reason that you do that is that it allows the reader to see the quality of the evidence that you're using to answer your research question. Your conclusions is basically the answer to your PICO question. So you've asked a question, what is the effectiveness of occupational therapy for improving X outcomes in X population? Your conclusion that you're drawing from your literature matrix should be, based on the studies reviewed, it appears that occupational therapy is or is not or is somewhat effective for improving outcomes with blah, blah, blah. Then you go back to your literature matrix and you pull out key pieces of evidence to support your conclusions. The implications is, why does this matter for OT practice? Okay, why do we care? Why is this important? And why is it important in terms of practice? And then your references. So now let's step back a little bit further and let's take sort of a view from the balcony. Here's what you've done. You're saying, here's my research. Here was my objectives in doing this research project. Here's why it's important. Here are the elements of my question. Here is how I searched for the evidence. Here is the evidence that I found. Here's the quality of that evidence. Here are my conclusions directly related to my PICO question. Why is this important for practice? And my references. And you're done. So, for your poster, each one of you will be standing in front of your electronic poster and you're going to be doing a verbal presentation on your poster. You'll have a maximum of 3 to 5 minutes to do that, and you'll probably present your poster 10 different times to 10 different groups. So you don't want to read your poster. You want to know your subject really, really well so that you can go through and talk people through the major highlights of your poster. What did you do? Why was it important? How did you do it? What are the outcomes? What are your conclusions? And what are implications for OT? And we're going to practice this a little bit in class, okay? So again, if you stand back and look at your poster, what you're really doing is taking someone through your research process. Here's what I hope to do. Here's why it's important. Here's how I attempted to answer the question. Here's what I came up with. Here's the quality of the evidence. Here are the conclusions. In other words, I'm answering my PICO. What are the implications for these conclusions for practice? And citing your works. Okay, I hope that helps.